Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacqueline. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacqueline at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and our show today is Talking Heads. What is a talking head, you might be asking? They are an expert. They are someone who has extensive experience, and they have their own 30-minute show to share their knowledge and expertise to help make us better personally and or professionally. With us today, our talking head expert is Jean Keegan Daly. Let's welcome her to the show. Hi, Jean.
Hello, Dr. Jacqueline. Hello, everyone.
So nice to see you. I know we have a lot of people who are keyed up and waiting for this fabulous episode that you have to share with us. So I'm going to get out of the way and be backstage taking notes. So have a great session, Jean.
Thank you. Thank you. So I am really happy to be here. This is our 6th session of Practical Pathways to Being Your Very Best Self. And so far, what we've covered from week 1 is understanding the holistic being that you truly are. Body, mind, emotions, and spirit. And the second week, we talked about free will and perspective and focus and self-responsibility. The third week, discovering your genuine life purpose. And the fourth week, everything begins with a thought, followed by a feeling, followed by a behavior, followed by an attitude, followed by a habit, if that continues over and over again. And then fifth week, we talked about making beneficial and meaningful choices and how you can create your own reality in a way that really makes you feel fulfilled. And week number 6, today, we're talking about understanding the true meaning of health and its 5 components. So, I may have mentioned this before, that true health is really a state of well-being. A lot of people think that health is the absence of disease. And that's not necessarily true, because you could be without disease process going on, but you could be in dis-ease, meaning that you are not in easement, yet you're not sick, but you could be on your way to being sick or having some problems because the body isn't connecting well with mind, spirit, and emotion or social, environmental things. So the state of true health is the state of well-being in which a person's body, mind, spirit, and emotions are all in tune with and flowing rhythmically and harmoniously with the spiritual, the natural, the cosmic, and the social environment of that person. So many of us don't really know what that feels like for more than maybe moments at a time. Some people do. Some people have that down pat in their lives, that everything seems to be going well in all areas of their life. But most people, especially now with the world the way it is and so much going on that is a chaotic and scary and, stressful, quite stressful to most people. We need to be very aware of what in our lives we can control and what we really can't control. So let's look at the components of true health. And the first component of true health that I want to talk about is nutrition. So you may have heard a lot about nutrition. Eating well is paramount to good physical health and also good mental health and emotional health, because it all follows. It's all connected. So what is good nutrition? right? It doesn't mean starving yourself. It could mean to people intermittent fasting. It could mean to people that they are vegetarian. It could mean to people that they are on a certain diet, like a Mediterranean diet or an Atkins diet that used to be very popular, or a keto diet that seems to be popular now. Basically, to me, and everything that I've learned as a registered nurse, and certainly a holistic registered nurse, and someone who is very metaphysically oriented, nutrition means attending to what you put in your body that is helpful to you. And that can include treats, of course. So, we used to have, when I was growing up, we used to have a pyramid of food, and that's changed now. Okay, so we also have seen a lot more allergies. I am a substitute school nurse a lot of times in many different schools, and what I find sometimes is we have more children allergic to things than we ever did when my children were growing up. So my children are now in their 50s, and so that tells you how old I am. But anyway, the whole idea is to feed your body with a combination of protein and fat and carbohydrates. Okay, so all fat is not healthy, but some fats are necessary. Okay, and protein is necessary to build our bodies stronger and more healthfully, but not all protein. Okay, and certainly, fiber, and when we talk about carbohydrates, they should be the complex carbohydrates. For example, one food that's complex carbohydrates that to me is delicious is carrots. So that is very important. There's a little spot on this screen I'm trying to get off. I don't know if I can. There. So anyway, so complex carbohydrates are important because that gives us energy. So we need really a balance of all of those nutrients for our body. So fats and fiber and carbohydrates and protein and essential nutrients. There are minerals that we need, there are vitamins that we need because we don't get those in the foods like we used to way back in, I'd say, the last century. Or, long ago when people did all their own farming and they didn't have processed foods and the land was really much more pure than it is now. So, to have nutritious foods that contribute to your health, think about things that you can cook at home on a regular basis. Fresh vegetables, steaming them, or even roasting them. I love roasted vegetables with olive oil. That's really good. Um, and lean proteins. If you eat meat or poultry or fish, make sure that it's fresh and make sure that it's lean so that you're not having a lot of fat and gristle in those products. And frying foods once in a great while, if you really enjoy that, would be okay for you, but too much fried food is not going to be healthy for your digestion. So, broiling, baking, steaming, any of those are actually more nutritious to you than frying foods. And of course, water. Some people say they don't like water, they don't like just plain water, but it's so important because water not only adds um, the energy to your body that you need for everything in your body to work harmoniously together and flush out toxins and hydrate you, which is healthy for every single part of you, including your skin and your brain and your eyes and everything. But water, you can actually put maybe a little bit of blueberry juice, fresh blueberry juice in your water. Just get some blueberries and you want to, just crush up some and pour that in the water to flavor it just a little bit. Um, but no artificial flavors. natural flavors, some orange, squeeze an orange. So that's better than drinking orange juice because orange juice is full with too much sugar. Even though it's natural sugar, it's much better to have a fresh orange or squeeze some of the fresh orange into your water to make it more comfortable for you to drink if you don't like plain water. I happen to love water, so I drink it a lot. And also filtered water. You know, my water in my home is full of calcium, and so it leaves a ring, a spot of calcium everywhere. So I filter my water to take out as much calcium as possible. The other thing I want to mention right here is ingesting calcium. I used to teach a lot of women's health when I was a community health educator nurse, and long ago it was really advised that women take a lot of supplemental calcium. But now they're finding that women in menopause or even premenopause or postmenopause are starting to keep that calcium in their blood vessels. That's not a good thing. So get your calcium from your diet. You can go online and look up, calcium rich foods. We don't have enough time here for me to tell you all the calcium rich foods. Um, Another thing I wanted to mention for young children that you might have at home or grandchildren is soda. Diet soda is not a good thing for your body because there's chemicals in there. So people think, oh, well, I want to lose weight, so I'm going to drink diet soda. First of all, soda should be a treat once in a while if you like it. But especially in adolescence, it actually can pull the calcium right out of their bones. And that is the time of life that their bones are growing the strongest. So, to prevent osteoporosis, which is weakening of the bones in older age, I teach children when I do classes on puberty to have soda once in a great while as a treat, but certainly not every day, and never diet soda, and limit the intake because it is full of sugar. So, those little things really contribute to your health on a nutritional basis. And there's so much more to say about that, but we don't have time in this program right now. So I want to get to the next component of health and true health and wellness, and that is physical exercise. So there's plenty of things about physical exercise that are important. Some people are not up to, going to the gym, and some people just don't like the gym. I don't particularly like the gym. However, I do exercise at home, and I do that in a variety of ways. Stretching, especially when you're older, is most important. Stretching, and I don't mean stretching just before you would exercise in a cardio way, but stretching when you wake up in the morning, stretching before you go to bed at night, stretching in the middle of the day. And you want to stretch your legs and your arms and your back and your neck and your head and your shoulders. And maybe sometime I can do a whole presentation on that. But again, there's a lot of information available to you online. Make sure that it's somebody who is trained and not just, a popular thing. Also, physical exercise. One of the things that is wonderful is yoga. And I remember as a young girl thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I could move myself into a pretzel. But that's really not what I mean by yoga. I mean by yoga, just a beginner's yoga where you learn breath work, you learn how to breathe properly, which we're going to talk about next week. Um, and you learn certain positions that strengthen you and correct imbalances and help to make you more flexible, that are easy, that are not twisting your body. You don't have to put your leg over your head. And yoga also actually helps parts of you that may have been in long term stiffness. Yoga is good for arthritis. I have a yoga instructor here where I live in my community who has taught people with severe arthritis, and it's just been wonderful for them. So a lot of I don't want to say a lot of exercise like I just started to say, but regular exercise, regular walking out in nature. That's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it doesn't matter, if you walk the same trail all the time, that's okay. Although I would say, vary your walking area once in a while, just to give yourself some new, fresh insights and new, fresh environment to look at. So physical exercise is really good and important and absolutely necessary. And if you are in a chair, a wheelchair, or you have very limited motion, there are exercises that you can do in the chair and in your wheelchair if you have to be in a wheelchair. There are breathing exercises you can do, excuse me, that relax your entire body that I'm going to teach you next week as part of that class. And another part of, an essential part of true health and wellness is emotional expression. So some people have real difficulty with expressing themselves emotionally. They might hold everything in, and you might be one of them, one of the listeners to this program. That is not a good thing if you hold everything in, because as I've talked about before, every single week, we are energy beings. Everything is energy, including our emotions, our thoughts, our words, our whole being is energy. And energy has a vibration, energy has a frequency. And you want that frequency and that vibration, you want the frequency to be very clear and you want the vibration to be high. Okay, so you nurture that by expressing your emotions. And when you feel an emotion that is hard for you to express, let's say anger or disappointment or hurt or um, just intense sadness, fear, any of those, what some people call negative emotions, and I hesitate to say negative because it means that to many people means that they're bad. They're not. They're part of the human experience. But we don't, and they're valid. We don't want to stay in that emotion though. We want to move it through because it's energy. Energy needs to move, not stay stuck. If it stays stuck and unexpressed, then slowly over time it's going to affect our physical body. That's dis-ease, which can lead to disease, which you don't want. So, one of the things that I find very helpful for people expressing emotions, and I have never taught any of my clients or students or patients anything I haven't already done myself that I know is effective. So, I've been on this journey for consciously for like 50 years. And so, anyway, expressing your emotion, if it's one of the ones that people might consider negative, but it's what you feel, it's valid, it's right there, is to do that by yourself instead of holding it in, and all of a sudden it just comes out at someone or in a place that's really inappropriate. So, what I do oftentimes is be in my car or in a place where I'm alone. And just if I have to scream something out because I'm so frustrated, then I do that. Sometimes into a pillow. You can scream underwater, and that's very effective. You're not just put your face in water and scream into the water, and the water accepts it and disperses it because you're releasing that energy instead of bottling it up. The same with sadness. Sadness is usually crying. We express sadness by crying. Sometimes people express anger by crying, and because they're afraid of their anger, or they think that it's not acceptable, or they think it's not appropriate. Every single emotion that you have, and there are so many, but they're the main ones that I mentioned. Um, every single emotion that you're feeling is valid to you, and you need to express it. Another way that I find very helpful is writing. Okay, now that's different than journaling. So journaling is something that you are, talking to yourself about what has happened to you, how you might be feeling. But when you're expressing a feeling that is so uncomfortable for you, um, I have done this. Take a big pad of paper, any pad of paper, and just start writing. Don't pay any attention to your language or your penmanship or your, um, you know, uh, English class that you had long ago. No pronunciation. Just start writing, writing, writing as a means of, with the intention of expressing yourself. And as you do that, your intention of releasing this is so helpful because your body is listening. Like, okay, we're doing this to with a purpose. We're doing this to release this energy that is not comfortable to hold on to and may lead to disease. So that's really important. And on the other hand, expressing love and joy and peacefulness and, in many ways, like you heard me say before, probably that I love dancing. I love singing, and I've done lots of it in my life. So that's expressing joy, or picking up a pet that you have or a stuffed animal that you have and just hugging it and squeezing it and just pronouncing your joy to yourself and to the world. And every single chance you get to express love. Okay, so a little example. When I say to my grandchildren, to my sons and my daughters-in-law and people, my friends and people that I just feel so connected with and love, and I say I love you, their immediate response can be often I love you too, and that's fine. Yet I want that like my grandson was here last night, and I always say to him, I just love you so much, and I love you too, Grandma. And I said, just, okay, let's do this again. And I want you to just breathe it in. Just hear the words that I'm saying and just breathe it in. And you know what he said to me? He's 22. And he said to me, that felt really good. And I want to say that back to you. So he was present in the moment. And that's what you need to do. You don't want it to be an automatic, habitual response. You want to feel it. Okay, feel those wonderful emotions. And then the final part, before we run out of time, is most important too to true health, and that is spiritual nourishment. And again, it's not about religion, although if religion helps you, wonderful. It's about any way that you feel spiritually connected to your core, to the creator, to the universe. And I do that through prayer. To me, prayer is talking to God, universe, source, creator. And meditation is listening, being quiet and going within to that still small voice and listening to all the available, energy in the universe from the creator that wants to come into you. Make space for it. Okay, you can have a walking meditation. You don't need to sit with your legs crossed and with candles and that if you do that, that's just fine. But you don't have to. Make it easy for yourself. Make it a ritual. And to me, talking to God, universe, source, is not petitioning. It is thanking and being grateful as though what you're being, who you are, is right now. So instead of saying, please let this happen, I say, thank you for bringing that to me. Thank you for opening myself to know that that's there, to know that I am a creative being, part of this universe. And thank you for showing me the way. Okay, so, um, eh, the book that I wrote, Reflections of a Seasoned Soul, which is available on Amazon and on most of the online places that have books, Barnes and Noble and even Walmart. Um, Reflections of a Seasoned Soul by Keegan Daly. It tells you my journey into learning how I am part of this and how I am a creative being like each of us are, and the resources that we have, and how we can help ourselves be here to support each other, to love, to connect with that spiritual abundance that is in the universe. And as far as what's happening in the world right now, and I'll close with this, that's something that right now we individually cannot control. What's happening in the Ukraine, what's happening in Russia, what's happening globally with so many other things that are not primary in the news right now but have been before. So unless, we can say, oh, that's so, we can pray for that, those people, we can pray for those circumstances, we can pray for those places. But our prayer, in my view, needs to be a prayer of with visualization of sending that the people, sending the situation, sending the environment light, peace in form of however you, maybe doves, just see doves in your mind flying down. And every single thing that you think, every energy of helpfulness, any energy of thought, feeling of love, and um, just trying to be helpful really does go out there. It does. And instead of sitting back and saying, well, that didn't work, yes, in some way it is. It's helping people. You might never ever know how. Yet, this is something that, utilizing all of you, taking good care of yourself so that you have that wellspring inside of you on a physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, environmental, social level that can be rich enough to give out to others without depleting yourself. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening and for being here. And next week, we're going to talk about the meanings of stress, distress, and strain in preventing disease from becoming disease. And then the rest, week 8, week 9, week 10, week 11, week 12, are all about effective, practical, simplistic ways of handling stress and how to have balance. Lots and lots of things I have to present to you. So thank you all for listening. And we'll bring back Dr. Jacqueline now. So I invite everyone to have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Jean. That was great. I took a bunch of notes, and I loved how you emphasized about the diet soda. I haven't had soda in probably 20 years, but I know people who drink diet soda on a regular basis. Oh, it's fine because it doesn't have calories. Oh,
No,
no.
it's not fine.
It's not fun. And also about taking walks through nature.
Yeah,
I One of our shows was about the blue zones, which I wasn't really that familiar of what they were. But one of the things that people traditionally who are living over 100 years of age for exercise, they're doing something in nature, whether it's gardening, chopping wood, taking
yeah,
walks. I think that's really important that you brought that up too.
yes. Nature is always balanced, so we can find balance. And one of the things I'm going to talk about in the next several weeks is how to utilize nature in ways that people might not have thought of before.
Oh,
That
I
are
look
really
forward to
cool.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is very cool. And I know we have to run. I just wanted to mention also that vitamin D is really important, and I've never really paid as much attention to it as I do now because I'm in the dark
yeah,
most of the week behind the screen without any sunlight, and I know that that's not a good thing. So remember to get your vitamin D.
Vitamin D3. You
D3.
want
Okay,
vitamin D3. Okay. Yeah. It's,
perfect.
yes. So,
Thank you for suggesting that. All right, great show. I look forward to seeing you again next week, Jean. Thank you again.
yes, thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. And
Thank
goodbye,
you.
everyone. If you want to get in touch with me, please email me. Put in the little subject line, show or Talking Heads or Dr. Jacqueline, jlifespirit at comcast.net. Bye.
All right, we've got it right here, Jean.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right. Thank you, everyone. We're going to be signing off right now. We've got another Talking Head show coming up, and we will be back with Jean next week. You guys stay where you are. I'm going to run to the other studio, and Jean, you enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.